All right, the gang's all here. Oh, I still have coffee. I will be drinking coffee throughout my show today. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the weekly Wednesday Warble. Today's theme is hashtag Tilley rhymes with silly, so I'm going to play 10 kind of silly songs for you. And we're doing all originals today, because I've written a lot of silly songs. So I'm going to start off with Patron of the Arts, which is, I put this out on my EP Vagaries in the fall of 2020. I think we're doing 3 songs from Vagaries today in total, because it was an EP of kind of silly songs. There we go. But this is an answer to the question, what would I do if I was fabulously rich and famous? Hello, Rolling Stone. Welcome to my island lair. I built it round a hot spring. Please hang your own coat. Hiring servants just seemed too weird, apart from 2 ladies in waiting to help me brush my hair. And I hope you'll excuse the mess, I'm a little absent-minded. So I hired a pantomime troupe to reenact the housework, so I'll remember to do it, but it's their week off. The food here, nothing grand. My cooking skills are basic at best, though I employ several painters to come every day to capture lunch and dinner in oil. And on Sunday it's a sculptor you'll see last week at the Louvre. Oh, you're wondering about the dance troupe? Well, I don't always find it easy to get my point across, so the dancers will interpret my mood and then express it. That way things are clear. And I hope you enjoy your time here, and I hope you put me in a good light, 'cause I'm the wealthiest, the strangest, indeed the most infamous patron of the arts. I see you'd like to know all about my daily routine, how I begin every morning. Well, each day starts at 6. No, it doesn't. A string quartet sits next to my bed and plays some Shostakovich to remind me life is good. Then it's down to my gym to work out. No, there's no personal trainer, just a roster of heavy metal bands, various subgenres depending on the workout. Then shower, breakfast, work. Then after lunch it's time to deal with email and calls and all communication. Now on the payroll, I've got the perfect trio to help a composer and a poet and a leader soprano. So I let them take care of all that while I go about my dailies. What's that? Yes, it's a fact. I did make all this money writing silly folk songs. What makes you question that? And I hope you'll enjoy your time here, and I hope you'll put me in a good light, 'cause I'm the wealthiest me round. Now I remember what I'm doing when I move from room to room. So I let them, but that's all our time for today. You can see yourself out. Just head through the menagerie. There you'll find the bowman. He'll take you to the city. Yeah, I know he's a bit creepy. That's what I pay him for. And I hope you enjoyed your time here. And I hope you'll put me in a good light. 'Cause I'm the wealthiest, the strangest, most selfish and outrageous patron of the arts. There we go. That is patron of the arts. All of those things, I really would do all of those things if I had the money. Particularly the Greek chorus to follow me around my house to remind me what I'm doing. I think that would be rad. Let me get things set up here. So the next song, I'm going to do another one from Vagaries, and we'll hear my really loud clacky keyboard there. This one, I had a song prompt, and the song prompt was under the label, which sounds like one could write something really like deep and meaningful about how we see one another, sort of thing. And I was trying to decide where I would go with this, and my husband was like, what if you took it really literally? Like really literally. Like what's under the label on a can of tin milk or something. We should have had a lovely time, a pleasant evening shared with friends around the table gathered for our meal. Set the places all so nicely, matching linens, place cards too. I was so looking forward to the night. But no, instead we're here in this cave. I planned a dinner party. Now we're a party of adventurers. I was prepared to face a mountain of dishes. Now I'm facing certain doom. And as I gaze into the gaping maw of death, I ask, whatever possessed me to look under the label on the can of condensed milk? The recipe had promised turned out to be a spell, and the magic baking powder must have lived up to its name. We didn't open up the oven, we opened up a gate. By now the guests had all arrived, and in the kitchen did converge. The wine was set to breathing for our meal. The food was all prepared, only one thing left to go. When the timer rang, I beamed, the dessert. But no, I've never been so wrong. How did my dinner party become a party of adventurers? I was prepared to seek out the finest vintage. Now I seek some magic sword, and as I gaze upon the teeth that could be swords, I ask, whatever possessed me to look under the label on the can of condensed milk? The recipe had promised turned out to be a spell, and the magic baking powder must have lived up to its name. We didn't open up the oven, we opened up a gate. And they all look to me like I'm some chosen one to lead us through this maze, return us to our homes with only oven mitts, craft beer apron for armor. I fear that we are destined not to have but to be dinner. And I wish I'd read less novels and spent more time at the gym. And as I'm slipping down the gullet to my doom, I ask whatever possessed me to look under the label on the can of condensed milk. The recipe I promised turned out to be a spell, and the magic baking powder must have lived up to its name. We didn't open up the oven, we opened up the gate. We didn't open up the oven, we opened up the gate. There we have Under the Label. So that was cooking. We're really domestic. We had, like, you know, my supervillain lair and how I go about my day and set things up, and then we've got a little bit of a dinner party. I'm gonna sing, I think, the only love song of the day. This is a true story. Perhaps it shouldn't be in silly songs. I wrote it after a period of time in which I completely lost my mind because we didn't have any shelves in our apartment, and my husband kind of didn't quite know what to do with me, and it put a non-trivial strain on our relationship. But then I wrote this song and everything was okay. But it's still kind of silly. No, it says there's a couple other people there. You might be the only one. You might be the only chatty one, though. Please do feel free to chat away, anyone who's there. We love to yammer on ridiculously in the chat here on any Kyla Tilley program. All right. Adequate Shelves. This is on my album New Shoes. This is on my first album. There's not much space here in our domicile. Our limited storage has taken your mind. Once you were vibrant and full of ideas, I was so taken by your artistry. Then anytime inspiration would strike, you let the mundanities of life slide. Now you feel inundated by our lot. I try to engage you, but all you can say is adequate shelves. Hey, James Din, good to see you. I've seen you suffer fixations before, plunging your energy into one goal. And this time it's different. It worries me, love. It seems you've lost sight of all you hold dear for adequate shelves. Adequate shelves. A place for everything, and everything in its place. Cleanliness is next to godliness. I suppose home decor is a creative pursuit, but honey, you're taking the notion a little too far, don't you think? You enter the pupae a butterfly, and come out a worm. This metamorphosis disturbs me. I used to come home to your joyous shelves. Adequate shelves. What can I do to bring you back? I've tried reasoning. I haven't tried everything. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. So much for lingerie, chocolate and jewels. Since your notion of Swedish porn's been revised, I'll bite the bullet, attempt to provide adequate shelves. Adequate shelves. Adequate shelves. And there we go. And hello, Marlis, and hello, James and Steve. Good to have you all here for today's weekly Wednesday Warble. The next song on the list, actually, Marlis Tilley co-wrote this one. And it was funny how it came about. It was October, so it was like a Halloween. I've got my papers here. It was a Halloween song prompt. So it was write a song about a knife. And I wrote this on my Twitch show, because I sit and I write in front of people. And I probably spent about half an hour thinking about, like, you know, what am I going to do? Like, is it going to be like a murder weapon, or is it going to be a metaphorical knife in the back from a friend kind of song? And in the back of my mind, I was like, oh man, if my mom shows up, she's going to want me to write a song about her favorite knife. And sure enough, about half an hour later, after I'd done all this thinking and pondering about what kind of serious songwriter song I could write about a knife, my mom pokes into the chat with, oh, a song about a knife. You should write a knife. You should write a song about my quite old, good quality stainless steel, genuine bone-handled knife. So it was like, well, there's the chorus. So I got her chatting about all the things that make the knife so great. And we got this song out of it. So this is quite old, good quality, stainless steel, genuine, bone-handled knife. And it's a true story. It just dawned on me how many of my silly songs are the result of true stories, and I'm mildly disturbed by that. No other drawer in the house had anything in it when we moved in. The closets were empty, the cupboards were bare, the room's dark and empty. But there in the back of the drawer in the kitchen, third drawer from the top in the house down on Field Street, sat a quite old, good quality, stainless steel, genuine, bone-handled knife. No other knife in that drawer can handle a turnip so well. No other knife in the drawer can separate pieces of meat from the freezer. No other knife spreads butter better. No other knife cuts through pate the same. No other knife is a pleasure to use like my quite old, good quality, stainless steel, genuine, bone-handled knife. No other knife in the drawer has such a keen and attractive blade, has such a heft, it's a pleasure to use, a tool finely crafted. But there in the back of the drawer in the kitchen, courtesy Sheffield and Southern, courtesy Southern and Richard Southern and Richardson, Sheffield, that's a quite old, good quality, stainless steel, genuine bone handled knife. No other knife in the drawer can glide through pastry so clean. No other knife in the drawer can separate pieces for deli sandwiches. No other knife spreads butter better. No other knife cuts through pate the same. No other knife is a pleasure to use like my quite old, good quality, stainless steel, genuine bone handled knife. No other knife in the drawer. There. Yes. Southern and Richardson Sheffield. Southern and Richardson Sheffield. That is the creators of this knife. We're going to stay in the kitchen for another song. And we are going to continue with true stories. So this came about strangely enough in the green room of Ham Bones Open Mic, which is an online open mic I go to often. And we were talking sort of after with the broadcast, we just kind of hang around in the Zoom room, which we call the green room, and chat. And we were talking about how over the course of the pandemic, everyone's kind of home setups got better and better. So like someone who had started out sitting at a desk with a big pile of graham crackers beside him now had like built a full-on stage with a lighting rig and everything in his garage. And so that got us to talking about graham crackers, and that we sort of decided that everyone should write a song about graham crackers. And I was like, you know what? I actually once bought something at a secondhand store, and they gave me a box of graham crackers because they were giving a box of graham crackers away with every purchase that day, and that's very strange. So that's the genesis of this song. So this is two true stories about graham crackers. This box of graham crackers, free with a purchase at a second-hand store. I didn't question it, I just accepted. Put it in my bag and got out of there. Put it in the cupboard, it moved with 2 apartments. Couldn't bear the thought of leaving it behind. I got this box of graham crackers, free with a purchase at a second-hand store. I kept that box of graham crackers around for several years because they don't go bad. They came in handy for sweet cravings, and every time I ate one, I had a little laugh. What kind of cookie has an origin story? Would I ever uncover its mysterious past? I got this box of graham crackers, free with a purchase at a second-hand store. But why would a clothing store be handing out crackers? How did they get so many boxes to begin with? Did someone see a deal they couldn't walk away from? Did someone rob a truck and find a disappointing cargo? Did someone just believe a graham cracker could make your day? What kind of regulations did that giveaway fall under? I had that box of graham crackers sitting in the cupboard when the hurricane hit. Half empty and long forgotten, back behind the flour and the wall of canned milk. Cream cheese in the freezer, afraid of losing power. Make the best use of the perishables. Make a crust with them graham crackers, coming to the rescue when the road was washed out. But why would a clothing store be handing out crackers? How did they get so many boxes to begin with? Did someone see a deal they couldn't walk away from? Did someone rob a truck and find a disappointing cargo? Did someone just believe a graham cracker could make your day? What kind of regulations did that giveaway fall under? I got this box of graham crackers, free with a purchase at a second-hand store. Graham crackers. So this next one, boop-a-doop-a-doop. This next one is also, well, there's a lot of truth in it. Again, I had a prompt, and the prompt was to write a happy song, and it was December. So I was like, okay, December, like, obviously one could write a holiday song, a happy holiday song, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I'm in Canada. Like, what makes people in Canada happy in December? Oh, thank you. Actually, it's funny, James, you should say that about that song. I was at like yeah, I think Jimmy Yamagishi wrote one, the real Michael Lee wrote one, and I think Will Sims, who was the person who had the graham crackers, I think he wrote one too. So I think 4 songs about graham crackers came into existence. And it's funny, I played, that one has 3 chords, which, so does this next song. I don't write a lot of 3-chord songs, but sometimes I write 3-chord songs. So I was at like a songwriting circle where people were jamming, and I was like, oh, I'll play this song. It's only 3 chords. It'll be really easy. And so I was like, it's 3 chords. These are the 3 chords, everyone. And then everyone was like, yeah, but you changed them really fast. That was hard to follow. But thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the workings of my fingers. So this next one, well, it's funny, Steve, that you did ask about what kind of knife it was, since since it was like the next line in the song. It was like part of the comedy act. What kind of knife was it? I'm responding to things out of time. Anyway, this next song, I asked myself the question, what makes a Canadian happy in winter? And you know, graham crackers, we mentioned the hurricane. So we've entered the weather section of the song, because what makes Canadians happiest in winter is bragging about how cold and miserable it is where they live compared to where it is where other people live. And I'm sure this is not just Canadians. I'm sure friends, people from Minnesota, people from Russia, people from Scandinavia, people from cold places like to brag about it. And so this is called Canadian Brag. And I should tell you that it's like gloriously warm and beautiful outside here, and there isn't a drop of snow. I went for a run in my t-shirt yesterday. Anyway, Canadian Brag. I'd like to tell you just how cold it is here, where the snow piles up faster than the town can clear, and the wind chill is chillier than it is there, wherever you are, where it's not as cold as here. And I'd like to tell you just how dark it gets here, where the night's isolation is oppressive and drear, and the sunset is earlier than it is there, wherever you are, where it's not as dark as here. I'd like to tell you about the storms that rage, a path of destruction leaving nowhere safe. I can assure you what you call a storm there is nothing compared to the storms that rage here. I'd like to tell you just how cold it is here, where the snow piles up faster than the town can clear, and the wind chill is chillier than it is there, wherever you are, where it's not as cold as here. I'd like to tell you about the wind that blows through 14 layers of down-filled clothes. Whatever is considered a strong wind there is but a gentle breeze to the winds that blow here. And I'd like to tell you just how dark it gets here, where the night's isolation is oppressive and drear, and the sunset is earlier than it is there, wherever you are, where it's not as dark as here. And I'd like to tell you about the ice and the sleet, the terror on the sidewalks, the hazards in the street, the frost in the beards, and the breath you can see. I'm so pleased to tell you about our frozen misery. And I'd like to toes. Don't speak to me of how the mercury falls, 'cause I'd like to tell you just how cold it is here, where the snow piles up faster than the town can clear, and the wind chill is chillier than it is there, wherever you are, where it's not as cold as here. Hey Axo, how are you doing? Great to see you. Welcome to the weekly Wednesday Warble. We're about halfway through. It's hashtag Tilley rhymes with silly today, so we're doing all silly songs. And we're in the Canadian section, so that was Canadian Brag, which is a song about the weather here. And the next one I want to do, is also pertaining to Canada, and also contains a fair bit of truth. So I wrote this, and this song references Her Majesty the Queen, and I had a moment of, do I update the lyrics to this song to make it His Majesty the King? But I determined that this is a song about a particular event that did happen here in Canada, so we will leave Her Majesty in the song. But about way back in 2021, I believe it was, our Governor General, which is in Canada, the Governor General, the head of state is the head of England, is the monarch of England, the Queen for many years, now the King, and they are represented in Canada by the Governor General. And our Governor General stepped down in disgrace because she was a terribly mean person. And our government had not done, obviously, it turned out that if they had done 1 second of due diligence and called anyone when they appointed her, they would have found out that she was a terribly mean person and she wouldn't have got the appointment. It's a song about Rush. I will have to write a song about Rush one of these days. But anyway, I've always rather fancied the position of Governor General myself, so I wrote this song. And if you're ever in Ottawa, I do highly recommend going to visit the Governor General's house. Oh, to be the Governor General of Canada, it's been a lifelong dream, a regal fantasy. Oh, to be appointed, so wouldn't it be wonderful to be the head of state, to exercise that power? On hearing the position had recently come open, I sent a private message to the Minister Prime, stating my credentials for the post honorary and the paycheck that comes with it on the taxpayer's dime. Oh, to be the Governor General of Canada, to live at Rideau Hall and grant royal assent, I could nod quite firmly, solemnly, decisively, though I'm not really sure why the Queen still gets a say. But I quite like the sounds of the residence I'm given, with a gallery, a ballroom, and a tennis court inside. I'd look out the window and watch my guards changing every hour on the hour, from 9 until 5. And I won't cause any scandals. Well, at least I'll be nice to the folks that deserve it, my staff at Government House, where I bet there's lots of room for my shoe collection. And I'll bet Her Majesty will just find me refreshing. Oh, to be the Governor General of Canada, to live in Ottawa, an open parliament, carry out important duties constitutional, and flub the protocol because I think it's silly. But I'd follow in the footsteps of Stanley Gray and Clarkson, commissioning a trophy to recognize sport, shake hands with dignitaries, throwing garden parties, have my official portrait printed on a stamp. Oh, to be the Governor General of Canada, da, 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 da. Governor General. So I'm going to do another one off my my EP vagaries now. When we think of things like the monarchy, we may think of curmudgeonly folk who are set in their ways. When I was 35, it's all been downhill since then. But you may call me a hater and think I'm set in my ways, but I won't go with the flow, cause I think it's going over some rocky cliffs ahead. What if you're all swept over? What are you gonna do then? Bet you're gonna wish you'd been a little grumpier. I wish you'd been a curmudgeon. And Axel, I just saw your message about the Governor General, and when she stepped down, I did not send a private message to our Prime Minister, but I did tweet him, and I did point out that I was available. Oh, actually, I think I pointed out that I was actually pretty busy because I was recording an album, but I would still consider the position if they wanted to give it to me. But they didn't. They didn't call, didn't send any letters. I think we will go next. I got 2 songs left for you, and I think they probably count as the 2 most ridiculous songs I've written. Oh, maybe just 2 of the most ridiculous songs I've written. This one is a co-write. This is a co-write with Jimmy Yamagishi, who was here last week, which was really lovely. So Facebook, I get weird ads on Facebook. I use ad blockers, so I don't get a lot of ads, but I get them on Facebook because they're cunningly disguised as posts. So I got an ad for a literary taxidermy competition. And I was like, what on earth is that? And I just posted about it in my private Facebook page. I was just like, look at this ridiculous ad I'm getting. And of course, everyone was like, what is literary taxidermy? And it turns out that literary taxidermy is you take a famous work and you take the first line and the last line and then you fill it in. So like you start a work and you start it with, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, or whatever it is. And then you write your own thing. But my friend Jimmy Yamagishi wrote a verse and chorus, and he wrote the first verse and chorus. He wrote this verse and chorus and he posted them in the Facebook, and he was like, here you go, Kyla, finish this. So this is a co-write with Jimmy Yamagishi, and I would like to make it very, very clear, because I've spoken a lot today about the truth in my silly songs. And I would like it to be known, I would like to make it very clear that there is no truth whatsoever involved in this song. Yeah, that works. She said, go stuff the turkey and leave the feathers on. That is when I realized something strange was going on. She pulled the guts and muscle, left the skin and bone. This was not the kind of turkey I expected to take home. She's taxidermy Tilly, she learned it from her books. Taxidermy Tilly, it only takes one look. She mounted it gracefully, its penetrating gaze retains its noble bearing thanks to carefully chosen glass beads. She smoothed out every feather, she's varnished up the beak. Its vibrant, lifelike posture freaks me out, it looks like it might speak. She's taxidermy Tilly, she learned it from her books. Taxidermy Tilly, it only takes one look. She's so proud, she's so happy, sharing her hard work with me. She's not wrong, it's quite the deed, but I can't help but hope it flies away. Well, I was stunned and speechless, which she mistook for joy. All I could do was smile and nod and hide the thing in the garage. I keep it in the cupboard and hope she calls ahead. Then I put it on the mantle so our friendship doesn't join that bird. Taxidermy Tilly, she learned it from her books. Taxidermy Tilly, it only takes one look. Taxidermy Tilly, she learned it from her books. Taxidermy Tilly, it only takes one look. It only takes one look. It only takes one look. Alright, so there's Taxidermy Tilly, a co-write with Mr. Jimmy Yamagishi out of LA, who he's written a silly song or two himself, also some very, very beautiful and serious ones. So I'm going to finish off the program for today with a song off my first album. This is quite an old song, and this is possibly the fastest song I ever, like not fast as in it plays fast, but like I wrote this song in 10 minutes. I think it's probably the shortest amount of time I ever spent writing a song. So when I just sat down at the dinner table and wrote it out. And I think it's an appropriate song to end. It's a silly song, but it's also I mean it. I mean it. Everything in this song I mean. I hope you find it uplifting. Why not take off all of your clothes and throw could use a refrain. Yes, next time I sing that song, there will be a kazoo solo in there. Ah! All right. When I was putting this set together, I was like, I can't believe I'm doing a set of silly songs and I don't have one with a kazoo in it. But anyway, all that being said, I thank you all so very much for joining me here today. It is so a shred solo. There could be a shred solo in that song, a kazoo shred solo. I'm always open for a shred solo in any song, actually, to be quite honest. All right. Well, I thank you so much for joining me here today on the weekly Wednesday Warble, in which we went with all songs of a silly nature. Perhaps we'll have a far more serious theme next week. I'm not sure. I have not chosen it yet. But I have been Kyla Tilley. I am a singer-songwriter, and I am here every Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Newfoundland time, which is a strange little half-hour time zone. But I'm here at this time every Wednesday singing 10 songs that I've managed to relate in some way. So I will see you all out there in the internet, in the wide world. You all have yourselves a great day. Take care, everyone.